Hello and welcome to, I really don't know what number online battle this is. I'll correct it on screen. Oh, text message as well, cool. So yeah, this is a Napoleon Total War online land battle. Now enough of looking at those cavalry units over there. I'm playing as Britain. My opponent, Gojiratx, I think, is playing as Austria. We'll show his name at the end. Hope I've said it right, probably not. So I'll go over my units in a second. Over here on my right flank I've got a unit of 15th Hussars and 2 units of Light Dragoons, one of them King's German Legion. Now I charge in here with my Hussars and reinforce with another unit of my standard Light Dragoons around the flank here. Meanwhile the 2 units of one's Hungarian Hussars and the other is Cuirassiers. I managed to pull my other King's German Legion Light Dragoons round the back for a flanking manoeuvre, and I have lost my 15th Hussars at this point, but they've held long enough for my King's German Legion to flank round, and now the damage will be done. And seeing as we're quite close to the red line, they will exit the battle map near enough 100% certainty of not coming back here. So anyway, I had the 15th Hussars and 2 units of Light Dragoons on my right flank. In my centre I have, I believe it's 4 units of foot, 2 units of King's German Legion foot, and then on my right flank I've got a unit of the 88th Foot Cognate Rangers, and to the right of them a unit of Highland foot. In front of those I have 3 units of light foot, and mixed in there as well, we'll go take a look, we have 2 units of rifles. Now I'll say why I've done that in a minute, but over here on my left I've got 2 units of dragoons, and we'll quickly take a look at my opponent's army. Now that I can record 15-minute videos, I'm happy to go over what armies we both have if I have the time. Anyway, on this left flank, which I started the video with, I've got Cuirassiers. Here we have the Archduke Charles Legion, and then we've got some Landschritzen, I think that's right, Landwehr. Hungarian Grenadiers, interesting choice there. Hungarian Fusiliers, 1, 2, 3. Oh, German. We come in, so 2 Hungarian Fusiliers, and then the rest, 4 of them are German Fusiliers with another unit, with a unit of Grenzers on the left flank, and I was about to say another unit of Hungarian Grenadiers over there. We also have some Landschritzen here, which are their unit of light infantry, I think, or they're sharpshooters, I believe. Interesting choice of Grenadiers, and they've got a general staff as well. The rules for this, I'll say now, were no fix, 2 artillery max. Now, I didn't choose any artillery, and nor did my opponent, so we sort of both bluffed each other by thinking we might bring some cavalry, some artillery there. Just show where my Light Dragoons going, which are over there, right at the back, so I can flank round with them at some point. Has pulled this unit out wide here. His cavalry hasn't reacted to my dragoons over in the forest, which are slowly moving along, and I've actually told them to charge up here now. While he's moving up with his army, he doesn't have the infantry to support anymore. He's moving from my main force here, so my men are free to charge the Cuirassiers. I think this actually does go terribly badly though. The Cuirassiers beat my dragoons back, I think, quite happily. They are sort of heavily plated, heavy cavalry, whereas mine are just standard dragoons, and they do react to my men's charge at the last minute, so I don't get 100% sort of surprise rate, as it were. So my men instantly felled and pushed back there. This other unit flanking around them a bit, doing some damage, but not enough really. Over here I start pulling my King's German Legion foot round on my left flank. Now I would say also about this build, I've only just started using it, so there will be a couple of videos me playing with this, showing some various opponents trying to beat it. Now I will explain the premise of using 3 light foot and 2 rifles. The 2 rifles mixed in there are basically, when it comes to stalemates, my rifles can start firing on their men, because generally most people don't bring 120 range units in this game. They bring 100 range units, light foot, because there's just more of them, and it's mass volleys that win the day in the end. Over here I'll just show you I have attacked the enemy general, and he's just been killed. So yeah, I'll come back. So yeah, the premise of using rifles in here is to draw the enemy light infantry in with my rifles. It then allows my light foot to get the first volley shot off, thus by numbers winning the battle on that front. The line infantry choices are pretty standard. There's just enough of them to back up my light infantry and create a flanking force on each side, which I'm doing here with my King's German Legion, which we'll show. And we've also got another unit of King's German Legion here before we come into the foot units. They're bent slightly round, already pushing back some units here. Over here on the right we've got the Highland Foot and the Cognaut Rangers, undamaged so far, and I've charged in with my cavalry. Now that is always a very good attacking a very good tactic. So once you can flank around the enemy, smash into their flanks, take the flanks out, you can then push in with your own men and cripple them. As you've seen, I've crippled one unit there, the other unit's fallen into square. I've managed to get my cavalry away and start charging into this Grenzer unit, which has already got low morale. I haven't killed many of their men, but it's not about how many I kill, it's about how much I reduce their morale. They start breaking, that's brilliant. Now they've pushed forward, he's tried to move them away. Now my foot behind, you will see, will start firing. And they were able to take quite a few of them down, as well as some of my cavalry. But at this point I don't mind, because they've basically done their job. Now I'll also explain the cavalry choice here. Some of you might go, wait, you've used 5 units of cavalry, that's quite a lot. I believe that actually generally you need to use quite a bit of cavalry in this game. Generally so you can anticipate any situation. Because I presumed my opponent, I can't remember if Austria get lancers or not, but generally most opponents I play aren't Britain, or they're nations that can recruit lancer units. So I was slightly worried about that, and so with this build I'm trying out 5 cavalry, 3 of them light cavalry, so they're fast moving and can make a hard hitting fast attack, and then 2 heavy cavalry to support my troops or support the light cavalry if needed. Now he pulled a unit of cuirassiers over here, so I was wary of that and I was ready to form square. I also pulled my general staff over to my right flank. Now over here we've seen the right flank is basically diminished here. The unit of Hungarian Grenadiers here, they never even made it to me to throw some grenades on me. However, they have a unit of Jaegers over here, which I can't remember seeing. They must have been on the far left flank, and they were pushing up to me as well. So they're able to hit my Highland Foot, which I'm going to move forward to try and take them out. I've brought my General's Bodyguard over here, one to get away from the cuirassiers, as I've said, on the left flank, and also to boost my men's morale here. Not that it needs doing. I've now collapsed his centre. And I'm basically free to annihilate the rest of them. Although this is kind of where it can be dangerous if you're facing a very wily opponent. Their men will fall back like this. They're not completely shattered, most of them are broken, so they will come back, they will reform. Over here his cavalry unit formed diamond. They're pretty tired, so they're not moving fast even when running. He's put them to a walk. However, my square of King's German Legion Foot are felling a couple of them. Now generally I wouldn't move along like this on the line, even though I'm moving some of my units, because I can just instantly do this, just form a unit at choice into square. Okay, I've moved the rest of my men forward, but at this point it doesn't matter, because they'll never get to my men to do any serious damage, because they're either going to rout, or there'll be so few of them left by the time they actually get there. If you are going to attack with cavalry, do it like I did, which was to loop right round the back, follow my mouse here, and then you can come in, and also do it when you've lured the enemy to you. Now in this position, I wouldn't say I particularly camped. I moved forward and chose the slightly higher ridge ground here. I didn't move too far forward here, because otherwise you get caught in all the hills and bumps. Even so, I think you kind of get 2 forms of camping generally in the game, and I don't oppose camping. I find it a challenge if someone chooses to camp, and generally I reward them for choosing the tactical high ground, or whatever they've chosen to sit on or camp on, as people label it. I don't have a problem with that. I use the tactic myself sometimes to lure the enemy in, especially if you've got artillery. In this one, neither of us had artillery. However, I dealt with his cavalry over on the right flank, so bringing them round also forces the enemy either to move forward, which it did, and put the pressure on them from the back, because they don't want to have the cavalry running around and having to try and sort them out. They push forward to get out of the way there. So anyway, my men here, line infantry in that formation of rifles mixed in with the light foot, all in light infantry doctrine, so none of them being shot at over the head or whatever. They're all in perfect sync there. The German Fusiliers have come back, but obviously there's too few of them now, and by the time they actually get to my men or in range, my men have decimated them with volley after volley. Over here on the left, though, there are a couple of units that could pose a threat. I've got my 2 units, well no, I thought I had 2 units of King's German Legion Foot. It's 1 unit of King's German Legion Foot and 1 unit of foot. Now I've moved them up on the left there. We still have that Crusader unit, which will actually prove to be the last unit on the battlefield. And he starts pulling them down here. Now you can see I've routed all the units, so I was thinking, oh, why aren't they going? Is it because they've some of them are still just broken and they will come back eventually? But then I realised obviously we have this unit over here still. But good game to my opponent. I believe he said he was just trying out this build as well, or but good game to him. Generally, as quite a lot of you may summarise from this battle, it was near enough won towards the beginning with this cavalry battle over here, where I was able to flank round, take out the general. He could then no longer boost his morale of his men, which may have held his centre line a bit more, but also he fell victim to my riflemen mixed in with my light infantry, which I used to devastating effect, as you can see by the sheer amount of bodies we've got along here. Also, he did well trying to flank me outflank me here. My cavalry, obviously the dragoons, didn't stand up against the Crusaders, but at the end of the day that wasn't a deciding factor. The cavalry battle that did matter was over on the right flank, not the left. And flanking around, he did manage to push one unit of my King's German Legion back, which was this one here. However, I had the numbers and I had the support to keep on going. Now, over here he's charging the Crusaders. I have time with my Highland foot to just stand them here. I'm not going to form them into square. If I want to form them into square, I'll do it at the last minute. But I decided I'm going to do it now. I thought I might let my men have a volley, but nah. Form into square. The enemy's going to come straight into me here, and we will see their last charge and see them all thrown off near enough. And that, I believe, is the end of the battle. The Crusaders routing, shattered, fall back, or escape. And there we go. So, Gojiratx, I don't know how exactly you pronounce your name, but good game to him. Interesting start to my new build as the British there. It's actually interesting that, seeing as I haven't done an online battle for a while, the first battle I should do is the same 2 factions that I first started doing videos with Napoleon Total War, which was Austria versus Britain, me as Britain, my opponent as Austria. So a good game all around. Feel free to comment and add your own criticisms in there. Be nice, of course, don't be just like blunt and disrespectful. Give maybe some helpful advice to Gojiratx where he could have maybe improved his build, maybe not to bring those grenadiers, if so what unit could he have put in there, things like that. It all helps each other. So as always, I hope you've enjoyed. Please comment, rate and subscribe, and I will have another battle coming up very shortly as well. Cheers.